So next topic is conductivity. So earlier in the last class I have given you a formula of conductivity, that is sigma is equal to n q mu, and I told you that conductivity is equal to the inverse of the resistivity, and I also given you a formula where my resistance is related to it, that is R is equal to rho L by A. Right, so let's see what is this conductivity. So before moving into that, let me take the case of an intrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductor. We know in an intrinsic semiconductor we have, with the help of an energy band diagram, we can say there is one valence band. You all know what is this valence band. It is the last filled band, and above to that band we have a conduction band, and in between them we have some energy gap defined as Eg, which is 0.3 electron volt or 0.7 electron volt depending upon the type of the material, right? 0.7 electron. Now what is going to happen inside it? Let me take two temperature ranges, that is one is at 0 Kelvin. So at 0 Kelvin means we are not giving any energy to the electrons present in this valence band. Means when they will not get any energy, definitely they will not excite to the conduction band, and there will be no conductivity, and we can say that this semiconductor will act as perfect insulator. Now, but what is going to happen when I am going to increase the energy? For example, let me take an example at room temperature at 300 Kelvin. So at 300 Kelvin, what is going to happen? The bonds between these electrons are starting breaking. These covalent bonds, which I have explained in the last class, that there is one silicon atom, there is another silicon atom, and between them there are covalent bonds, or simply the crystal structure on which it is there. जो क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर है हमारा वो इन बॉन्ड्स पे ही बेस्ड होता है. अगर ये बॉन्ड्स नहीं होंगे तो क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा. So what is going to happen at the room temperature? These bonds started breaking, and it is not like this कि एक बार वो टूट गए तो कभी जुड़ेंगे नहीं. It is a continuous process. they एक बार टूटते हैं, फिर वो जुड़ते हैं, टूटते हैं, जुड़ते हैं, और ये रैंडम प्रोसेस है. कभी यहाँ का बॉन्ड टूटेगा, कभी यहाँ का बॉन्ड टूटेगा, जब यहाँ टूटेगा ये वापस बॉन्ड बना लेंगे. So randomly it is going to happen, or you can say that when the bonds are breaking, the electrons are moving from one point to the other point, and after that maybe the electrons from here come back over here and they will make a bond. So you can say that these electrons, if I draw this diagram again, these electrons at the valence band, they follow a random motion like this. तो electrons जो अंदर है valence band के वो एक random motion follow करते हैं. Similarly कंडक्शन बैंड पे भी अगर हम बात करें तो जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आपके एक्साइट हुए, सॉरी यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का, ओवर हियर वी हैव होल्स, because at room temperature we have provided some energy, the electrons have excited to the conduction band, and these electrons are moving here in the conduction, but their motion is random. Random means they are not defined or not aligned to a particular direction, and due to this reason we don't have any proper current in it, because for a current we want all the electrons to be aligned in a proper direction, but we don't have that. So these electrons, availability of the electrons at the conduction band is there at high temperature or at simply room temperature, because they have got energy sufficient enough to break these bonds. And as I said, it is a random process, so they change their directions randomly, due to which the overall current is very small or almost negligible, right? But this process gives us two definitions here. One is the recombination, and second is the carrier lifetime. So let us discuss what is this recombination. So this recombination is nothing but when free electron pairs with a hole, it's called recombination. It means when we have a bond over here. Let me describe it with an example. Let me first take the case of recombination. So two things are happening here. One is recombination and other is the carrier lifetime. So recombination, what is going to happen? A bond is there between a silicon and a silicon. So when this bond breaks, we will get simply when an electron hole is there, electron and hole are combined. This is combined. As I said earlier also, the vacancy of an electron is a hole. It means when they combine, the रिजल्ट इनटू नथिंग। ठीक है, तो जब ये इलेक्ट्रॉन और होल कंबाइन करते हैं तो कुछ नहीं होता है। तो रिकॉम्बिनेशन यही प्रोसेस है, जब एक फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन और एक फ्री होल जो है वो आपस में आकर के कंबाइन कर जाएंगे तो वो खत्म हो जाएंगे, और दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज रिकॉम्बिनेशन, राइट। और इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज द पेयरिंग of an electron and a hole, electron and hole, right। second point is और ये भी मैंने आपको बता दिया कि कब ये पेयरिंग होगी, जब ये बॉन्ड बनेंगे, जब बॉन्ड बनता है तो ये पेयरिंग, इसको कहते हैं हम पेयरिंग। सो नेक्स्ट इज द कैरियर लाइफ टाइम। सो व्हाट इज दिस कैरियर लाइफ टाइम? It is denoted by tau. Sometimes in some of the books you also find it as a mean lifetime. So अभी हमने रिकॉम्बिनेशन पढ़ा। रिकॉम्बिनेशन में हमने कहा कि जब एक इलेक्ट्रॉन और होल फ्री होते हैं, these are two free electron and hole. So when these free electron and hole combine, they form a pair and that is called recombination. But the duration, जितनी देर के लिए ये इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्री रहा या ये होल फ्री रहा, उसको हम कहते हैं कैरियर लाइफ टाइम। बिकॉज कैरियर क्या चीज़ है? फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन या फ्री होल को हम कैरियर कहते हैं। जितनी देर के लिए वो फ्रीली मूव करता रहेगा उतनी देर के लिए उसको हम कहेंगे, उतना टाइम पीरियड, उस टाइम पीरियड को कहेंगे हम कैरियर लाइफ टाइम, राइट। एंड दिस टाइम पीरियड इज वेरी स्मॉल, इट इज इन द रेंज ऑफ माइक्रो सेकेंड टू मिली सेकेंड। So look here, as I have discussed in the case of at room temperature, when we are providing some energy, these electrons and holes are being created. Electrons jump कर रहे हैं, वापस आ रहे हैं। जब jump करेंगे तो वो free हो जाएंगे, जब वो वापस आएंगे तो वो फिर से combine कर जाएंगे holes के साथ। So जितनी duration के लिए वो conduction band में रह रहा है कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन, उस टाइम पीरियड को हम कहते हैं कैरियर लाइफ टाइम। नाउ ये हर केस में अलग अलग होगा। कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन मान लीजिए 1 माइक्रोसेकेंड के लिए फ्री रहेगा, कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है 2 माइक्रोसेकंड के लिए। सो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव डिफाइंड हियर अ रेंज, इट इज बिटवीन 1 माइक्रोसेकंड टू द मिलीसेकंड्स। Similar is the case for the holes. So I guess it is clear to you that what do you mean by the carrier lifetime and the recombination factor? Is it clear? Yes. So कोई doubts हो तो आप माइक ऑन करके बोल सकते हैं। I can't go back into the chat box and see. So I assume that there are no doubts. So next, as I am discussing the conductivity, so let us see that what is the conductivity in the case of intrinsic semiconductors now. As I have discussed few terms related to the conductivity, so it will be good for me to discuss first case in the case of intrinsic semiconductor. Now in the intrinsic semiconductor, as I said that due to the apply of the energy, when we apply energy or when we increase energy, electrons and holes are created. Electrons and holes both help in the conduction. These are free electron and free hole, both help in conduction, or both contribute. You can say instead of help, we will say both contribute in conduction. So in the case of intrinsic semiconductor, we have intrinsic value Ni. There is a formula, that is Ni square is equal to the concentration of the electrons, free electrons, and the concentration of the holes. So in every material we will find this Ni value to be different. This is called as intrinsic concentration. उसकी किसी भी एलिमेंट की intrinsic concentration क्या है? So these are few values like 1.5 into 10 to the power 10, 1.5 into 10 to the power 13. Like this, we have different values for different materials. So there is a formula Ni square into Np. This is called as law of electrical neutrality. Law of electrical neutrality. It means when a free electron and hole is there, both will help in the conduction, and their concentration, that is the product of the free electrons and holes, is always equal to Ni square in the case of intrinsic semiconductor, right? So the formula for the conductivity over here is sigma is equal to, as I said in the earlier case, it is Nq mu. So now we have two types of carriers, one is electron and other is the hole. So I will write it as N Q mu n plus P, Q, mu P, right? So this N over here is nothing but the number of free electrons, number of free electrons. This P over here is number of free holes, and always holes are always free because they have generated due to the electrons when they got free from any bond. This Q is nothing but the charge, and mu n is the mobility. Now mobility of an electron is denoted by mu n, and mobility of a hole is denoted by mu p. Now one more important thing to remember here is that mu n is always greater than mu p. It means if we consider the number of electrons in any material, then definitely the conductivity by that material that will be high in comparison to a material where we are considering the number of the holes. Although in the case of intrinsic, their values are almost similar, as we seen that n dot p is equal to ni square. So we don't consider here this. This is important. This is not important in the case of intrinsic. We will discuss them in the case of extrinsic. But still, you must know that there is a mobility of electron always greater than mobility of the holes. Right. So this is a very basic one in the case of intrinsic. Let's move on to the extrinsic one, and let's see that how this conductivity is going to affect. Yes, one more thing I've left here. As I've already told you that these free electrons contribute to the current. So for example, if my electrons are moving in this direction, this is the electron movement, then definitely the holes will move in the opposite direction, right? This is one what you have to remember. The direction of the electrons and holes is always opposite. So this is a hole and it is moving in the opposite direction. Now if you see here that I have made the arrow of the electron is larger than the hole, because the reason is, although their concentrations are same, n and p are same in this case, you can see n is and p if I assume to be same, but their mu n and mu p are different, due to which their conductivity will be different, or you can say the conductivity of electron is higher than the conductivity of the hole. That's why the arrow is there. But even they are in the moving in the opposite direction, that does not mean that their currents will be cancelled out. Their current will be always opposite to the direction of the electron or in the direction of the hole. And if I assume this current to be In and this current to be Ip, then I will say my total current will be equal to In plus Ip. Just a minute. In plus Ip. So this is what my total current is. This is called total current. Right. So now let's discuss about the extrinsic semiconductors now. So what is going to happen in the extrinsic semiconductor? We have seen that there are two types of extrinsic semiconductor. One is N type, another is the P type. In the N type we have the pentavalent impurities, and in the P type we have the trivalent impurities. So let me discuss the case of N type. In the extrinsic semiconductor, let me first discuss the N type. So what is going to happen in the N type? We have said that we are going to add an impurity, or we are going to do doping over here. Doping will be there, and doping will be from the pentavalent impurities. Right. So in the pentavalent impurities, we have seen we have extra electrons, as we have 5 electrons over there, due to which 4 are bonded with the other silicon atoms and 1 is free. So what is going to happen with this extra electron? Due to this extra electron, we can say that now the number of n, or the electrons, will be very greater than the intrinsic concentration. What is this intrinsic concentration? It is there in the case of intrinsic semiconductor, that is n dot p is equal to ni square, and over there n and p are almost similar, equal. Over here, as I said, that this formula is law of electric neutrality, n dot p is equal to ni square, and n and p are equal because we have not done any doping. It means these are formed with the ब्रेकेज ऑफ द कोवलेंट बॉन्ड, और जब भी एक कोवलेंट बॉन्ड ब्रेक होगा वी विल ऑलवेज हैव वन इलेक्ट्रॉन एंड वन होल. इट मीन्स ऑलवेज द concentration of the electron is always equal to the concentration of the holes. N is equal to P in the case of intrinsic. It means, can I say from there N is equal to Ni and P is equal to Ni in the case of intrinsic? But in the case of extrinsic one, we will see that due to this extra electrons, now my N will be very greater than Ni. And definitely, if N is very greater than Ni, then I will say that P will be very less than Ni. The opposite case will be there. Because of extra electrons, there will be more chances of recombination with the holes. तो जितने ज़्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होंगे उतनी रिकॉम्बिनेशंस भी ज़्यादा हो सकती हैं. रिकॉम्बिनेशन जितनी ज़्यादा होगी उतनी ही होल की कंसंट्रेशन भी क्या हो जाएगी, कम हो जाएगी. सो इन दिस केस माई लॉ ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिकल न्यूट्रलिटी सेज that ND, just a minute, that ND plus P is equal to Na plus N. So what is this ND and Na? Although we know what is P and N, P is the number of the holes, N is the number of electrons, or to be more precise, they are free electrons and holes. Na is the acceptor doping, Nd is the donor doping. Now what is donor doping? Donor doping is when we add pentavalent impurities, and what is acceptor? When we add trivalent impurities. So it is for the pentavalent and it is for the trivalent. Now definitely if we are discussing here N type semiconductor, then Na will be equal to 0. So I will write here, in N type my Na will be equal to 0. That this thing implies that Nd plus P must be equal to N. It means the concentration of the free electrons in the case of N type is equal to the doping concentration or the donor concentration plus the number of the holes, right? And if we look here that N is very greater than Ni and P is very less than Ni, then in some of the cases, or you can say that N is almost equal to the donor concentration, because P value is very small. P is very small. So we may neglect it for not very, you can say for precise calculations, but for the normal calculation we can neglect it, right? So this Nd is the donor concentration and it denotes the number of the pentavalent atoms to the pure semiconductor. So let me discuss with an example. For example, if we have, let me take an example to make it more clear to you. Let me take that I have total number of atoms in a semiconductor. Total number of atoms in a semiconductor is equal to 5 into 10 raised to the power, let it be 22 then, 22 atoms per centimeter cube. We always denote it in the form of atoms per volume, means we can only define the total number of the atoms in a particular area or in the particular volume. So we denote it with atoms per centimeter cube, and we do here a doping in the range of 1 is to 10 raised to the power 7, for example. I am doing here the moderate doping, or this doping is nothing but my donor impurity. Then if I need to find the donor concentration, then how I will find? It means I need to find Nd value here. So Nd means, if we look here, Nd is nothing but the total number of donor atoms that have been provided by this doping. So this 1 into 10 raised to the power 7 says that for every 10 raised to the power 7 atoms I am going to give my 1 atom. This is how it is read. And what are the total number of atoms in a semiconductor? It is 5 into 10 raised to the power 22 atoms per centimeter cube. So if I go into my normal basics of mathematics, over there I have studied, for in the 10 raised to the power 7, for 10 raised to the power 7 I have 1 atom. For 1 atom I have 1 by 10 raised to the power 7. Then can you tell me that how many atoms are there in 5 into 10 raised to the power 22? 5 into 10 raised to the power 22 will have 1 by 10 raised to the power 7 into 5 into 10 raised to the power 22. So it will come out to be equal to 5 into 10 raised to the power 15 atoms. Again, this must be denoted with the per centimeter cube unit because it is defined in a volume. So it means with the doping of 1 is to 10 raised to the power 7, I can have 5 into 10 raised to the power 15 donor atoms. It means my ND over here will be equal to 5 into 10 raised to the power 15 atoms per centimeter cube. It means earlier which we have studied, that is donor atom is added. So over there I have only discussed a silicon over here, second silicon over here, third silicon over here, then silicon here again, silicon here again, silicon here again, and silicon here, silicon. So in this case I have discussed only, for example, if I am adding a phosphorus over here, so in this case I have discussed that for every 9 atoms I am going to have my 1 atom, but that is just for an example. In the actual cases we have different levels of doping. In my example over here I said for every 10 raised to the power 7 silicon atoms I am going to have 1 phosphorus atom. It means if I have total number of atoms in a semiconductor is 5 times per 22 atoms per centimeter cube, then how many doping atoms will be there in that per centimeter cube? It will be around 5 into 10 to the power 15 atoms. So look here, due to these 5 into 10 to the power 15 phosphorus atoms, how many extra electrons I am going to have? As this phosphorus have 1 extra electron, so definitely all these will be my extra electrons. So इतने हमारे पास extra electrons आ गए. Now what is going to happen with these extra electrons? अगर ये मेरे पास extra electrons है तो holes कितने होंगे? होल्स तो हमने अपनी तरफ से कोई नहीं डाले यहाँ पे, लेकिन जो ऑलरेडी होल्स थे, जो कि एक सिलिकन सिलिकन एटम का जो ये बॉन्ड ब्रेक हो रहा था जब, तो ये 2 फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मान लीजिए क्रिएट करता और 2 होल क्रिएट करता, तो अब ये होल जो क्रिएट हो रहे थे उनकी कंसंट्रेशन भी कम हो जाएगी क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ज़्यादा हैं, तो देर आर मोर चांसेस दैट दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन विल कंबाइन विद दिस होल एंड मेक अ पेयर. Right, so there is a formula to find the number of holes or the number of the minority carriers over here. So let me discuss that one also. So in this n type, my minority carriers will be equal to will be denoted by P, and it will be equal to P is equal to Ni square, which is my intrinsic concentration square divided by n. And in this case, my n is nothing but equal to Nd. I have used here an approximation that n is almost equal to Nd. So you can calculate from here. If I assume here my Ni to be, I have given a value. Okay, I have not given here. So let me assume here my Ni is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 10. This is for silicon atom के लिए मैंने assume कर ली. And this should be small Ni, not capital Ni. So I have assumed 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 10 is my Ni value. So from here you can calculate your P to 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 10 square divided by n. N is equal to Nd, that is 5 into 10 raised to the power 15. So it will be divided by 5 into 10 raised to the power 15. So it will come out to be around 25. It will be around 4500 atoms per centimeter cube. So look here, the difference between the number of the holes and the electrons. In the intrinsic case, they were almost equal to the intrinsic concentration. It means they were equal to 1.5 to 10 to the power 10, electrons be or holes be. But in the case of the doping or in the case of extrinsic semiconductor, when I am doing n-type, I am discussing n-type semiconductor, then the number of atoms over here, which is equal to n, the number of atoms for the electrons, number of electrons over here will be equal to 5 to 10 to the power 15, and the number of holes has now reduced to only 4500. I will not use here the word atoms because this is only per centimeter, because this is the number of the holes. So there is a huge difference in the number of electrons and holes, right? Is it clear to you? Is this concept clear? Okay, so now next I am going to discuss about the conductivity formula, which is same in the earlier case, that is sigma is equal to nq mu n plus pq mu p. So definitely over here, as I am discussing n type, so my n will be the number of the electrons. So N is replaced here with the ND, that is the donor. Q is the charge, mu n is the mobility for that particular one. And if I take case of P, it is very small, P Q mu P, and I have discussed it in the formula. So I can also say in this case my sigma is almost equal to ND Q of mu n, because what is the reason? Because ND is very greater than P. So you can neglect this term. So this term got neglected. So we can say that my conductivity in the case of extrinsic semiconductor is given by this. But to be more exact, this is the formula. You can't make n even 0 because there is a value, but if I compare it with the NdQ mu n, it is very small. That's why I have neglected it. So this is the these are the two formulas for my extrinsic semiconductor in the case of N type. And exactly similar is there for the P type. In the P type, what is going to happen? If I discuss the case of P type, for P type semiconductor, what is going to happen? My sigma will be equal to, can you tell me what is that formula? It will be NA Q mu P. This NA is nothing but P, Q is this one, and mu P is this one, plus you can also say it is NQ mu N. This is the exact one, and you can approximate it as in this case your NA will be very greater than N, then you will say it is simply equal to NAQ mu P, because NA is very greater than N. Because of the trivalent impurity, you will have one extra hole. So simply by changing your term from one less electron, if I use here extra hole, so everything will be same as I have discussed in the case of N type, because in the N type we have extra electron, in the case of P type we have extra hole. Now one more thing is there, that is effect of doping. Effect of doping. Just a minute. Yes. Now effect of doping on the conductivity. On the conductivity. So if I take here N type and on the other side if I take here P type, so what is going to happen? Let's see. Our formula of conductivity is sigma is equal to NQ mu N plus PQ mu P. In the case of N type, the sigma is equal to, our conductivity is equal to ND, that is donor one, Q of mu N, and in the case of, or I will say it is approximate value, and sigma in the case of P type, let me note it with the sigma N and sigma P, just to differentiate them. It will be equal to NA Q of mu P. So what is this doping? If you see here, this ND is nothing but the donor concentration. Is the donor concentration. And what is this NA? It is the acceptor concentration. So how this ND and NA is coming? It is nothing but defined by the number of the dopant atoms. If the number of the dopant atoms are more in comparison to the total number of atoms, this donor concentration will be high. And similar is for the NA. Like if I discuss here 3 types of doping, along with it I will also discuss the types of doping. So if I say types of doping, so we will say here that we have 3 types of doping. One is called as the heavy doping, second is the moderate doping, and third is the lightly doped. So earlier I have taken an example of 1:10⁻⁷. So this is my moderate doping, where this is moderate doping. where this value lies between 10 raised to power 6 to 10 raised to power 8. Right, so I have taken here 1 is to 10 to the power 6 to 10 to the power 8. So this is lightly doped, moderate doped, sorry. Like second one, if I discuss the lightly doped, it is 1 is to 10 raised to the power 11. This is lightly doped. Lightly doped. And third one is 1 is to 10 raised to the power 3, that is heavily doped. So how it is going to affect? As we have seen that the total number of atoms, for example, I have taken in the earlier case equal to, what was that? Total number of atoms was assumed to be 5 into 10 to the power 22 in any material. So if I say that the total number of atoms is 5 into 10 raised to the power 22, so automatically atoms per centimeter cube. So automatically in the case of heavy doping, I would say that there will be one dopant or one donor concentration or one acceptor concentration in the type of the doping with respect to 10 to the power 3 atoms. Whereas in the case of moderate doping, I will say there is one doping atom in comparison to 10 to the power 7. So over here the donor concentration has reduced. Similarly over here, if you see, one is there in place of or in comparison to 10 to the power 11 atoms. So definitely if I take the 10 to the power 22 case, so in this case I will find, so in this or heavy doping case, I will find my concentration or doping concentration to be around 5 into 10 raised to the power, just a minute, 5 into 10 raised to the power 19. Over here I will find it equal to 5 into 10 raised to the power 11, and over here I will find equal to 5 into 10 raised to the power 15. So you can see here, when I am going to increase my doping, the number of the doping atoms has also increased, and due to the increase in the number of doping atoms, definitely my Nd and Na value will be more. So it means with the increase in the doping, I can say my conductivity also increases. So when I increase the doping, I can say my conductivity also increases. What is the reason behind that? Although Q and mu are constant, जो सेम रहेंगे इलेक्ट्रॉन के केस में एंड सेम रहेंगे होल के केस में, बट द डोनर कंसंट्रेशन, नंबर ऑफ द कैरियर्स which is defined here by the donor concentration has increased. So this is important. So with the increase in the doping, we can say the conductivity also increases. Next, as I said, this is moderate, lightly and heavily doped. So we have few notations over here. For example, if I am doing the trivalent impurity, adding the trivalent impurity and discussing p-type semiconductor. So in the case of p-type, we call it p, and in case of n-type, we call it n for the moderate doping. But when we do lightly doped, we call it p negative or n negative. And similarly, for heavy doping, we call it p positive or n positive. So this is just the notation to represent that how what kind of doping you have done. If you have done the heavy doping, you will call it p plus. If you have done the lightly doping, you will do the p negative. Is it clear to you? So I will stop.
Sir, please repeat.
Yes, okay. What do you want to know?
Sir, with increase in the wall line increases conductivity.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Look here. There are three types of doping, or you can say there are three categories of doping. One is the moderate doping. Moderate doping means in 10 to the power 7 atoms, you will find only one dopant or one impurity. In the lightly doped, we will say that in the 10 to the power 11 atoms, you will find only one atom of doping or the impurity. Similarly, in the heavily doped, you will say there are for every 10 to the power 3 atoms, you will find one doping or one impurity atom. So it means if I increase the doping, or if I increase it from lightly doped to the heavy doped, what I am finding here that the total number of doping atoms has also increased. In the case of lightly doped, if I take this example of 5 to 10 to the power 22 atoms per centimeter cube, it may be different value also. It is the total atoms. How many atoms are there in a semiconductor? एक सेमीकंडक्टर है, अगर जर्मेनियम की मैं बात करूं तो उस जर्मेनियम सेमीकंडक्टर में करोड़ों एटम्स होंगे, राइट, लाखों करोड़ों एटम्स होंगे, पर मैंने कहा कि सिर्फ 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब में कितने एटम्स हैं? इन 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब मुझे बताओ आप, क्योंकि ऑटोमेटिकली ये चीज़ फिगर जो आपकी कंटिन्यू रहेगी अगले 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब में भी. सो आई सेड हियर दैट लेट अस एज्यूम दैट द टोटल नंबर ऑफ एटम्स इन 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब आर 5 into 10^22. It means if I say that for every 10^3 atoms I find one impurity atom, so in this case 5 into 10^22 atoms में मुझे कितनी impurities मिल जाएंगी. So I will simply divide it, जो हमने पहले मैथमेटिक्स में भी किया है कि 10^3 में हमें एक इम्प्योरिटी मिलती है, एक में हमें 1/10^3 मिलती है. Then how many impurities will be there in 5 into 10^22? It will be 1/10^3 into 5 into 10^22, and it will come out to be around 5 into 10^19. Right, this is what we have already done in mathematics. So this is what I have calculated here for every doping. It is 5 into 10^19. For moderately doped it is 5 into 10^15, and for lightly doped it is 5 into 10^11. It means my doping concentration has also changed with the type of the doping. और जितनी हैवी डोपिंग करेंगे उतनी ज़्यादा आपके इम्प्योरिटी एटम्स वहाँ पे मिलेंगे. नाउ आफ्टर once we come to know that we have more impurity atoms, can I say my doping or my carriers will be more? Because in the earlier case over here I have explained you that higher the doping, right? If we look here, I have discussed here, if my higher is my doping concentration, definitely उतने ही मेरे पास इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जनरेट होंगे. अगर मैं एन टाइप सेमीकंडक्टर की बात करता हूँ, अगर मेरे पास 5 into 10^15 फॉस्फोरस एटम्स मिल जाते हैं 1 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब में, तो डेफिनेटली हर एक फॉस्फोरस एटम के साथ एक इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा. देन आई विल से आई विल गेट 5 into 10^15 एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, और जो कि लाइटली बाउंडेड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं. ड्यू टू दैट कैन आई से दिस Nd इज नथिंग बट इक्वल टू n, दिस Nd इज नथिंग बट इक्वल टू n. Or if I go back into my concentration conductivity formula where n is equal to, in the case of n type it is sigma is equal to Nd q mu n. तो जैसे जैसे आपने डोपिंग कंसंट्रेशन इंक्रीज की, आपकी Nd की वैल्यू भी इंक्रीज करेगी. Q और mu n तो फिक्स रहेगा उस मटेरियल के लिए. Q 1.6 into 10^3 ये तो यूनिवर्सल ही है. mu n भी फिक्स रहेगा, मे बी 3600, मे बी 1500, बट दिस Nd विल चेंज. इट मीन्स विद द इंक्रीज इन द डोपिंग, अगर आप लाइटली से हैवीली डोप पे जा रहे हैं तो आपकी कंडक्टिविटी भी क्या कर जाएगी, इंक्रीज कर जाएगी. इट मीन्स देयर इज वन मोर वे टू इंक्रीज द कंडक्टिविटी, दैट इज टू इंक्रीज द डोपेंट्स. दैट्स वाई if we compare our intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor, we always say that extrinsic semiconductor has more conductivity, क्योंकि वहाँ पे Nd या नंबर ऑफ कैरियर्स जो है वो इंक्रीज कर गए. Nd इंक्रीज किए एन टाइप में, Na इंक्रीज किए पी टाइप में, क्योंकि वहाँ पे नाम बदल दिया हमने. एक में डोनर बोल दिया, एक में एक्सेप्टर बोल दिया, क्योंकि एक में होल आ रहा है उसको इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए, और एक में एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन है जिसको अपना इलेक्ट्रॉन देना है. राइट, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड. So I'll stop here. Any doubts related to this lecture, you just let me know.